What up, everybody, and welcome to Creeps of the Crypts. I'm your host, John, along with my co-host.
Oh, they're Alan. Still keeping up that trend, man.
Yep. So we are here to talk about. I'm not going to catch up in this episode because we did that already. So sorry, guys. Not going to hear any backstory or anything from us. Really, typically that you normally would. That you probably don't like anyway. So yeah, we're going to talk about this episode, which is what's this? This is episode 11 of Creeps of the Crypt, but episode 5 of season 2 of Tales from the Crypt. And
yeah, the episode's titled Three's a Crowd.
Yep, and it stars, actually, we talked about this last week. It stars, his name is Gavan John O'Hurley, or O'Hurley, I don't know how to say his last name. Irish.
Yeah, I don't know either. He was
Gavan Irish.
He was in a couple things in the 80s, so that's how I remember him from.
Yeah, he was in it's a Death Wish, and he was the best. Death Wish 3, and he was the best villain ever. He has the eyes. He was creepy as fuck. It was such a ridiculous. Like, if you look at it now, you go, "That's just a really ridiculous gang," because they're like, back and it looks like New York, but it's not New York. It was such a good. I love Death Wish 3. That's my favorite Death Wish. That's the one I first saw. So I didn't see Death Wish 1 or 2, and I think I saw 2, and I was like, this is boring. Or 1, I thought it was boring for the most part. But this one I saw, and as a kid, and it was so much action. It was unbelievable. I know. It's such a... You have to watch Death Wish 3. I wish we could do a commentary one day of Death Wish 3, because it's so... If you've never seen it, it's so over the top, and it's so ridiculous. But this guy's a badass, because it's like before they said diversity, right? Before, who's also a bad guy in it? Ted from Bill and Ted. I think it's Ted. No, Ted is Keanu. Bill is which one's? Yeah, Ted is. Yes, I'm Ted Theodore Logan. I think
Theodore Logan. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think he's Ted. So Bill is in it. He's a gang member.
Okay. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think I only watched the first Death Wish. I mean, there's like six, seven of them or something like that. That was the first one. They had Jeff Goldblum in that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like that clip they use all the time in Opie Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn rich, C word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were good. Gavin was in. I remember he was in an episode of Twin Peaks, and
yes.
He was in one of the Connery movies of James Bond. I think Never Say Never Again, and Superman 3. So he's been in a couple stuff.
Yeah. So yes, super. Yeah, and he was also the first. I think he was the first Cunningham kid in Happy Days. He was the older brother that, from what I remember, I could be wrong. He was only in the pilot, and then he disappeared. He was never seen again. Like, he was just in the pilot. Yeah, he passed away. This guy is so sad. He passed away. But anyway, this episode is called, what's it called? Three's a Crowd. You said it. Yeah, Three's a Crowd. And it aired on May 1st, 1990. It was directed by David Burton Morris. It was written by Kim Ketelsen, Annie Willette, and David Burton Morris. I had to add this, the music. The music was done by Jan Hammer. And it stars Gavin, like we said. And the girl, you know who she is? The wife in this?
I tried. She looked familiar, but I couldn't pinpoint where she's from or where she's been in. She gave me a lot of kind of Laura Dern vibes, and I'll talk about it later in the episode. There's a couple scenes that, it reminded me like that. I could easily seen getting Laura Dern to play her role.
Well,
but no, what was she in though?
I don't know what she was in. I know she was in Hook, I think, but I know Plane, Trains, and Automobiles. But I looked it up when I was like, I want to look her up because she seemed like a weird choice for this role. Like, it seemed like there's other actresses that could play this, and although like with the last episode Till Death, they got a random actress too. It's like not always big names are in these things, right? We got it, but like the first episode was Robert Zemeckis' wife, right? And it was like I've seen her there, and I barely see her in other things, but like she stole the show in that first movie. She did a great job in that first episode. So this one, she's a decent actress, but it's like something's like it could have been anybody else. It really like she's like
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
she was a little stiff in some scenes,
but I looked her up, and she was married to Larry Drake during this time period, so that's how she probably got this role. No offense, I'm just saying, you know, like
no, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we've seen this time and time again in the last. I mean, since we've been watching this show, there's a lot of actors that work with directors or producers that end up appearing on the show in some way, shape, or form, and even as far as them being married, like we've seen with Leah Thompson. So, not surprising. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I mean, if you know somebody, you're gonna end up getting the gig. It's just the reality of life. But she was in. I was looking through her IMDb list. She was in an episode of Freddy's Nightmares.
Yes,
you've been covering that for a little bit.
That's next season.
Yeah, her and the other guy, the guy's name, the other guy that's the friend in the episode, Alan, my name. He was in another episode of Freddy's Nightmares too.
Oh, I didn't look him up because he was irrelevant. He might have been in one recently this year, to be honest. Like,
I felt like I'd seen him in something else, but you know what? I mistaked him for the other the sheriff in Twin Peaks too. He kind of reminded me of him. He kind of looked like him a little bit.
Yeah, this episode's very tight. Like it's very. There's not much.
No slow points.
But yes,
it goes by really quick. But it's also due to the fact that I don't know. It got my attention. The whole episode it got my attention. So it goes by really quick.
I will say this episode is like the budget was small, kind of, because they spend money on a boat.
Not a lot going on. Yeah,
on a yacht.
There's not a lot going on. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
The directing is very straightforward too. I mean, there's not a whole lot that they really do that stands out. I mean, there's been some other episodes and directors that shoot scenes a certain way, or there's something unique about them, but this one is not really. I think it's all performance based for sure, at least for my opinion.
Yeah, with this one, this episode, I have kind of mixed feelings about this. So, well, tell us what the episode's actually about.
Yeah, so the Three's a Crowd episode starts with Gavan, as we were talking about, plays Richard and his wife Della. I thought they said Donna, but I could have sworn
they did say Donna. I'd heard Donna,
but
too.
It says Della. It says Della on IMDb for some reason. It kind of threw me off. Oddly enough, Richard Donner's producer. Richard Donna kind of sounds like that. So
I could have sworn I had the subtitles up and it said Donna.
Yeah, maybe IMDb's wrong, but otherwise, they play a couple that have been married for 10 years and they're enjoying their 10th anniversary, and they get invited over to a friend of theirs who was the best man to their cabin. And as the episode goes on, he's kind of getting suspicions. We're led to kind of maybe believe there's some sort of affair going on, and that Richard is a self-loathing. Doesn't seem like he's got a lot of alcoholic. He doesn't seem like he's got a lot of money. The friend Alan, who was their
best
friend
man, and the best man
as well to the wedding. He seems to be well off. They never really mention what he does, but he's got money and pretty much just kind of was helping them out and getting setting up something special for them by inviting me over to the cabin.
Yeah, so they're going to celebrate their 10th anniversary. He wants to invite them to his cabin to celebrate, right? But at the same time, the episode opens up with Gavin. I'm going to call Gavin instead of Richard. In the dark, smoking a cigarette, getting drunk. And the music, that's why I had to write music by, because the music is... There are episodes where, like we talked about cutting cards, where the lighting I thought was amazing. I thought that whoever they got was great. Right? So with this one, the music is on point. It's the key to the entire episode. It's so good. And I was like, I was at first, I'm like, this is weird, right? Piano. But then it's just the piano. That's it. It's very minimalist. There's a very minimal, like, it's just interesting because I don't know. I think
it's not too over the top for what it is that's going on screen. I really
it is Della. It is Della.
That blue night, that blue light. When they emulate night, I can't get enough of that.
Yes, me too. I was saying.
Look.
I was saying.
I think that was that was one of the. I sent you a video or a meme of them. They were parodying that from. Was it like a Always Sunny episode, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. When Dennis banged the girl that
Oh yeah. Because they're doing
that
a horror episode. Yeah, they were
uh-huh. Yeah, they
Halloween
did that
episode.
same thing. So there's definitely attention to detail to that. Like a lot of the shows or movies from that time had that. I don't know.
That,
There was a
yeah.
style to it. Like
It's
nowadays,
beautiful
they have
though.
to make everything look
Too
too like
realist. Yeah,
realistic. So
yeah,
it's just
no.
there's something about it.
It's
I
it's
like
it
that
work.
part of
It's
the
look. It's not
beginning.
even an '80s thing. It's a because this is '90, right? 1990, right? But it just works better. I know there's some episodes where it's a little too much. Like we'll get to that. It's the last episode of this season where you brought it up to me at one point. You were like, "It's a little too much." I was thinking about it like today because so this scene. I was like, "Damn, they do
Uh-huh.
use the blue like lighting a lot, and especially in that
Yeah.
last episode of season 2. This is coming up." I was like, they did use it too much, but it just works. It just works. It's like,
Oh yeah.
and
It does.
it adds an effect. Like, I don't know. Like, I just it worked from. It always worked. Every time they try to make it night and they use that blue filter or that blue gel, whatever they do, the lighting is perfect for these things. I enjoy that. But yeah, they do that in the beginning, but then that's it. I don't think they do it in the cabin until the very end, maybe.
Not really. That's why I mentioned like this episode was directed pretty straightforwardly. There's nothing
Yeah.
they did effects wise, lighting wise, directing wise that really stood out or made the episode what it is. It's the story and the performances mainly is what carries the movie and the subtleties to the soundtrack you were mentioning too. So I definitely agree with you on that one.
But
Um,
so
mhm.
Richard's just a fucking loser. I don't know what happened with his work. Did you say something happened with his job? But he's just like down on himself, and also he's got this issue where he's waiting for her because this guy that's
Yeah,
her.
in the beginning, yeah, he was waiting for her to come back from going shopping, I guess, with the friend Alan. Like he was like, it's very specific. You said you'd be there for an hour or 2 hours, and she was gone for 4.
Yeah,
That
and
was
he's
it.
like,
And also, yeah, they mentioned a few times too, like they're trying to have kids too, so you shouldn't blink. So that's also
oh,
another
okay.
reason why he's mad too.
Okay, so he's got that. It's just down on his. He's got nothing, and I guess maybe she's the bigger breadwinner in the family, right? And this guy has money, and on top of that, this is a kind of a fucked up part. Is that
Uh,
he was the best man. Alan was the best man at their wedding,
mhm.
right? But Alan is her best friend. Alan used to date her. Alan used to bang her. Like they used to date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the thing that threw me off a bit because
Yes.
in the beginning they kind of mentioned that they were friends.
Yes.
She mentioned they were friends, but we got a little bit more backstory as the
Backstory,
episode
yeah.
went along. But
That's-
they seemed like they were school friends, but
Mhm.
they did date. Alan and Della or Donna.
No,
did
it's
date.
Della. It's Della. I was just putting it
Della?
on, and I watched the subtitles, and it says Della. He says Della.
Okay, it sounded like Donna to me, but we'll say Della then. Della, yeah, they
Stupid
dated
name.
too, but he ended up, getting her in the end, right?
Yes. So he takes him on his boat to go to his cabin. So because he's gonna surprise them, but he's just like, oh, he's been buying her gifts. Like she came home for the 4 hours. He was just spending money on her. Like
That
any
was the
man.
weird part because
Yeah.
like any man would
Yes.
get upset at that too.
Yes.
So they're acting like it's not a big deal.
And I know there are girls
because
out there
he's broke.
listening. Yeah, I know there are girls out there listening that go, "Oh, why would the guy get mad? If a guy get mad, then he doesn't deserve to be with her because she's not his possession. She doesn't own him." I go, technically,
Well,
what
they're
you
married.
want the guy, yeah, they're married, and you want, and if you're the female, and you're married with somebody, you want the guy to protect you, right? You want him to like, he has to. I don't know.
No, take care of you.
Take
Like
care of
would,
you,
It would,
provide
they
for
They
you.
would be upset too
Yeah.
if the guy did that to
Exactly,
a
the
girlfriend
girl,
of
yeah,
theirs,
right.
or a friend that's a girl.
If a
I mean,
guy,
it's not
yeah.
any different.
If a guy had a best friend that was a girl and was buying her shit, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
It's sus.
Like-
It's sus on both ends. So
Yeah.
clearly, he's got a little bit of justified, feelings towards feeling a certain way about that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we
And it's her
gather in the
fault.
episode. And it's kind of their perspective. Yeah. She just kind of waves it off like
She
it's
just
nothing because
she
they're friends.
yeah. So he's like
But
trying
they
to like
also dated and banged. So
yeah, but we don't find that out until a
that's
little
also
bit. Well,
strange.
they know, but we don't find that out until a little bit later. But she comes home with a new jacket that he just bought her, you know. And then he's like, will he buy that? Because you shouldn't let him buy you things, you know. He says that to her, and then she goes, just leave it alone, blah 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 blah. And then he's like ready to have sex with her to try to have a baby, right? And the phone rings, and he goes, let it ring, don't get it. And she's like, oh, maybe it's Alan. He wants to say, and then so he gets jealous, and he's getting more and more jealous, and the guy doesn't help because after they get on their boat to go to the fucking cabin.
Yeah, very touchy.
Yes, he touches her leg. He's like, "Oh, I lost out. So I wish I should have tried harder to take her away from you." And then he grabs her leg and something that's like, "Bro."
He jokes about it, and then he grabs his leg. So it's he's throwing mixed signals here.
Yes, you cannot be doing.
Yeah, so they can't act like nothing's wrong with that.
If she was a smart, like this is what I'll say, because I do want to get to the point. So like I have gripes with this episode. I guess. Well, anyway. So
we'll get to it.
He's getting more and more, like he's noticing that they're whispering, and or they're talking about how they used to bang or something, right? Like they'll be playing cards, and he's in the corner by himself like a loser, getting drunk, and then he looks at them and they're having fun, and they're talking about how they were in college together, and that this girl, she said you did more than just hook up. She said you fucked her doggy style up the ass, and that she was screaming all night long, and she couldn't sit down properly for a month. And he's like, oh my God, I didn't even remember that. That's not exactly what was said, but you know, that's
implied.
That's implied. Like he raw dogged this girl that she kind of comes off as a little bit jealous when she's talking about it. And then he says, was that before or after we broke up? So that's why we know they used to fuck, right? So they used to date. And then the husband looks like, I guess, how did he not know? Did he know? Like, because he kind of gives a look like he didn't know, or he wasn't aware. It's kind of weird.
It's a little bit muddy on that, but it seems like through that conversation they had while they were playing cards and him, you know, moping in the corner, it seemed like they knew each other. They were friends in high school, and there might have been stuff that happened that he didn't know. And at the end of the day, you know, he got her, he won her, or not won her, but you know, she got with him.
I think,
and there's that, and they got married.
He says in the car too, like, I let her get away, and I should have fought harder for her, but you know, so and he touched her. So like he knows that they dated, but it's just another thing. Like, this guy's such a loser. He doesn't have his own friend to be a best man. She got to pick his best man, or was she, or was he?
That was a bit rough. Yeah, it's a little bit.
Or was she, instead of having a maid of honor, she had a man of honor? But she says it's their best man. So,
well, they mentioned a few times they were friends in the episode. So I'm guessing, you know, they were friends in school. You know, they had something going on that maybe he didn't know, maybe he did know. But ultimately, you know, he ended up, winning her as relationship wise, and that's kind of where we're at. It was a whole. There's explanations there, but. How we got to this point was a little bit odd, because he mentioned too, like, you know, he was the best man at their wedding like 10 years ago, but it seemed like it was all out of the blue. You know, he just invited them out to do something nice for them on their anniversary. It just seemed a little strange, the whole thing. Like, it seems like it just kind of happened recently, like they haven't kept in touch.
Yes, he says it's been 10 years. Yeah, that was 10 years ago. How long has he kept in touch since then? Yeah. So he's all depressed. He leaves the enormous cabin. Like, this is a real cabin. This is crazy. I think I read that this is the cabin used for The Great Outdoors with Dan Aykroyd and John Candy. That they use this same.
That's one of the trivias. Yeah, that shows up on IMDb. That's about.
Well, I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid, so I
have to rewatch it and take a look at the cabin.
Yeah,
it's a pretty bomb.
Humongous cabin. I mean, it's showing that he's wealthy, that he's got money up his. I mean, we saw the yacht. Then the car was kind of shitty.
I've stayed in one out here, but it's not as huge as that.
No. This is pretty amazing. So then he talks to like some caretaker of the cabin, and he says like, "You're a lucky man to be married. Yes, he said you're a Mexican caretaker. He says you're lucky to be married for as long as you are. You know, it's a gift. You know, the 10 years is not easy. He's like, I tried 3 times. Like he was married multiple times, and like you should be happy or whatever. And not everyone's as lucky. So, it's like
He
you
said
have
something about like loving freely. It sounded like he was cheating or had it or like love isn't free or something. It seemed like it was spending money on hookers or something.
yeah. But then so
big ups to him.
he goes to bed and then he wakes up and he's like, oh my god, my wife's not here. It's very emotional, man. And he starts looking out and seeing that she's talking and then having a regular conversation, really. But he's taking everything like, and he's such a, the best thing about this guy, because he could look scary. Like if you watch Death Wish, you could be like, this guy's the scariest fucker ever. But he also looks sympathetic with that face. I don't know how. And I saw a picture of him and her. There's a picture online of her with makeup like she's like he murdered her, right? And him like standing there, and it's in black and white. And he looks so scary. And I'm just like, how? Like, would anybody marry him?
On the Wikipedia of this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it you know, walking in on that conversation after he was, you know, waking up and they were like out on the patio, the wording they use, it definitely it gives off vibes that there might be something going on between them, like there's some cheating going on. So justifiably so, he's, I mean, on top of him being very having a low self-esteem of himself and being jealous, it's a combination for disaster. So we're kind of are building up to that, and especially with him, you know, being scary as shit. You know, we're definitely get those vibes as the episode goes on.
Mm-hmm. And then, I see. This is the part I don't understand, or I didn't really catch. Okay, so he falls asleep, and then he wakes. She sleeps with him, right? She comes up later. She sleeps with him like nothing happened. Okay. So there's something too that I was like, wait a second. So she's drinking liquor with her friend, and they're talking, and Alan says, "So you sure he doesn't know because he's acting strange?"
That's the wording. Yeah, I was mentioning.
Yeah. So then he's like, his face is like, oh my god, she's fucking him. Right?
I'm getting cocked.
Like Will Smith.
So then, my own anniversary.
On my anniversary, he brought me to the cabin so he could fuck her in front of me. That's my gift. So then, this is so odd. Why would you think that? Well, I don't know. So anyway, he wakes up the next morning and she's gone, and then he starts like, what the hell? And he starts like, freaking out, yeah. I'm like, where are there stores in this would it like he's buying her more things. I'm like, that's a little bit ridiculous. So he's like, she bought her. So I don't know if this is true. Did he buy her those panties, those lingerie?
They never made it clear. He just assumed that Alan bought her that lingerie, but I think she just bought it.
Bought it for her,
to give to him for the anniversary. I think that was the idea, because there's still discussions about them trying to have a kid too. So I'm guessing that was just part of the whole shebang. But he took it the wrong way and thought that it's just the paranoia and the increasing slowly with every little bits of pieces we get, and we're viewing all this through his lens. So it's for the most part, I mean, I'm kind of like 60-40 on understanding where he's coming from, but he definitely took it a little bit to the extreme. So he finds the lingerie and then talks to the caretaker, and then they come back from wherever they were, and he starts just talking shit to both of them, and then he starts drinking again. He chugged almost half a bottle of that decanter, whatever it was, whiskey or something.
See, this is the problem I have. There are many opportunities for them to ease his mind. They have a lot of opportunities throughout this whole thing. She could have been like,
sure, yeah.
What's like, what he's acting like, and then after he's saying these terrible things to her that makes her cry and run out, and he goes,
"You're a real asshole."
Yeah, he says, Alan says, "You're a real asshole," and then he runs out. He goes, "I'm an asshole. You're the one that's fucking her." Right? So,
that part was great. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, bro, if he could have heard that, how far? What he would turn around and be like, "Listen, what, dude, I'm not fucking your
That's
girl.
that is true. I didn't even think about that at the time. I was
Yeah.
just laughing at how great that scene was and his performance. And
That's-
that's true. Like they would have been like, "Oh shit, he thinks we're fucking."
Yeah, I
And,
mean, there's so
nothing
many
really came of
times.
that.
That's my nitpick of this episode.
It's a nitpick. There's always
Yeah.
gonna be there's always gonna be that for every episode. Even the great ones we've mentioned, there's slight nitpicks, but
Yes.
it's kind of just the idea of the whole thing. It's just kind of what the point is. That's why it's hard to judge it too hardly, because these episodes are only half an hour. If they had an extra 30 minutes, we probably could have been able to flesh this out a little bit better.
Yeah.
So yeah, he chugs half a bottle of whiskey, and then they did this weird thing. That's the only thing else that stood out about this episode. He's standing there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like the frames drop, almost like when you can't run a video game well, like the frames drop really slowly. It almost reminds me of something out of a David Lynch movie or Twin Peaks. It's slow. It's like slow motion, but not. And he's looking up, and he sees like the deer head or the moose head that's stuffed on his cabin, right? And then it's night again. Alan returns to talk to Richard, and he shows up all disheveled after drinking, and he pulls out a fucking crossbow, pointing at him. And then he laughs, like joking, like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you" or something. And then they both start laughing.
He goes, you could. He says, "What did he say? You could." He says something. I forgot what he said. He says, "I don't. You could." I forgot. He says something. He's like, "You could put it somewhere," and he goes, "Yeah, through you." Like he said, "I plan to put it through you," and then he starts laughing. The laugh is so. This guy is just good at being a crazy fuck.
He's fantastic. Yeah, I gotta watch him.
That's what he takes the crossbow, aims it at him. He goes, "What the fuck are you doing with that thing?" And he
just practicing, and
he's
then
like,
see a bunch of arrows in that deer head.
He's like, "What are you doing with that?" And he goes, "What are you planning on doing with that?" And he goes, "Using it on you." That's what it was, something like that. And then so he fucking. This is another nitpick. Okay. So he goes down the stairs pointing this thing. I mean, any other person would just fucking take it out of this drunk's hand.
He would have just ran away or do something. It was clear that after he was not joking anymore, that he was gonna fucking shoot you with that crossbow.
And then he's
but
run out the fuck.
the death was kind of lame. There's like no blood or nothing. So
very lame.
He just kind of dies hanging there.
He just walks back to the wall like an idiot with his hands laughing up, and then. He shoots him, and it's so lame. It doesn't seem like maybe it would have killed him, yeah, because it's like The Sopranos where Ralphie's kid gets shot with a crossbow.
All right, yeah, someone shot a bow or something.
Yeah, the son's friend. They're playing like Dungeons and Dragons or some sure Lord of the Rings. Anyway, this is the funny part. Over dramatic death scene this actor tried to pull off here.
It just there was not much to it. Like I don't know if they didn't have a budget for blood or something. It could have been a little bit more gory or more.
But then again, it adds.
Brutal,
it does add a little bit to the subtlety of this episode, which is it's small, it's not big budget. They probably spend the most budget on the location and the boat. Like
probably running the cabin.
And that yacht was probably the most money they spend on this thing. Yeah, and
right.
So then the wife comes in after he killed he said something
after
like
he kills Paul, she comes back to the
collection.
cabin and trying to look for him.
Yeah, she goes, "Where's Paul?"
And then there's like nothing, no noise, and he shows up from the darkness wearing her robe with blood cover.
No, her jacket. The jacket he bought it.
Jacket,
like $10,000 that Paul bought. And he's walking like a weirdo. He looks so weird.
I thought he was gonna play Goodbye Horses or something for a second.
Yeah, like because he says prancing around like Buffalo Bill in fucking Silence of the Lambs.
Right. That's like, it gave me those vibes. I was ready for.
And
for that song to play.
She didn't see the blood and go, "What the fuck? You got my jacket all stained." Nothing. She's like, "What's going on?"
It was kind of dark, and it was the only thing being lit in there was the fireplace. So
she's like, "Where's Paul?" And he goes, "Oh, he's hanging around."
That was great. Yeah. Then you see him hang. He's like hung up on the ceiling with like some blood residue under his nose.
Don't know how he did that.
And she screams like Laura Dern, so that's why it reminded me of her.
I don't know how he did that,
Should have gotten Laura Dern on this episode.
He's such a good creepy fuck. So
Yeah, when he turns it on, he turns it on.
yes,
Like he's
great.
great. I don't know why, but she ran up the stairs and
Yeah,
then
I always
barricaded
run up the
herself. I don't
stairs.
know. She could have ran around him. He wasn't even.
I know.
She was like he wasn't even near the door. But
It's
that's
like
a nitpick.
the
But
soprano.
it
I mean,
almost.
Scream. Some big-breasted
Uh-huh.
girl running up the stairs, but she be running out the front door. It's insulting. It's like, well, here's a small-breasted girl doing that. So
Yeah,
she's actually, she looks like
she was good from
yes.
that point on. But
And,
before it was like, take it or leave
and
it.
she looks like a. When you look at her face, she looks like a '90s, '80s actress. Like she has the facial features of what was popular back then for TV. You know, I just look at her and, like when you say Laura Dern, I go, yeah, she has these features that surprised she wasn't. She thinks she did a lot of TV more than movies. I think she was more of a television actress. I think she was in MacGyver.
That's what it seemed like. Yeah, she's did a lot of TV. Looking through her IMDb.
Yeah. So then
She was in an episode of MacGyver.
Yeah, that's what I remember
so
from
Freddy's Nightmares. So
I haven't seen that one yet.
TV.
That's coming up. But so she goes upstairs and pushes a table in front of the door, which like Friday the 13th, you know. And he starts talking to her through the door, and then he's like takes out the lingerie, like I got something for you. Like this is so sad, right? I know
yeah,
he
he
bought
wraps
it.
it in his hands.
Yeah.
He's gonna like
Strangle her,
choke her with
yeah.
it.
He's like, I
Yeah.
know he bought it for you, so you could wear. Alan bought it so you could wear it for him, but I want you to wear it for me. It's like so corny but
was a little
pathetic
cheesy.
at the same
But he-
time. It's like
But his delivery was good though.
yeah, because like and then it's just. Oh, the best part is right after, right? That he goes, I want to clip that. I want that sound effect. I want it so bad. He goes, I want you to wear it for me, right? And he goes, you fucking whore! So loud. I'm like, I want that. And then he goes, you slut, you fucking cock. He just goes off on her. And then this is my other nitpick, okay? This whole time, he's saying all these things to her behind the door. She could have simply said everything and like, you stupid fuck. We weren't having sex. We invited you here because of this. And then, you know, but then we wouldn't have an episode. You know, that's just my nitpick. Like, she's just there like crying
I
the
agree
whole
with that.
time.
Yeah, and then after he gets in, after shoulder tackling that door down, she just jumps out the window.
This guy would have had his shoulder dislocated. There's no way he would have got down through that door. That door was solid wood. There's no fucking way.
That's some real wood right there.
Yeah. And
So,
she jumps out the window.
She jumps out the window, and he catches up to her. She's on the ground, and he strangles her with the lingerie. It's very fucked up. Really well done. That scene was really well done. And the big kicker of the episode. The first time I saw this, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yes, I know. Me too. When I
fucked
saw
up.
it as a kid, I was like, "Oh, I love the twist," because that's something we got.
It is a great twist.
We got to do a Creeps of the Twilight Zone or something because those are good. I was watching those the other night. I think it was last night.
To serve man.
No, there's
a
better
cookbook.
ones. They're much better than that, but they're really good ones. And then go, oh damn, man, nobody knows about this. Well, the people do, but you know what I mean. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm down to watch those. It's been a bit.
but he drags her.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
he drags her corpse, and then you obviously see the doll as he gets to the door. The lighting on that was pretty clear as day. He opens the door, and holy shit. There's a bunch of people there yelling surprise, and it's like a party, and then you see in the back there the banner, "Happy anniversary, Richard," right? You're gonna be a daddy. And then the reality sets in. Everybody in shock, speechless, as he drags her body in here. You know, there's a thing he said before this. I fucked up. Like, he said something about we're gonna work on making that kid or baby or something. So he was gonna fuck the corpse.
Oh my
after
god.
this.
Maybe.
And then it turns out the whole thing was a whole secret plan to celebrate the anniversary. It's just the episode was that twist, man. That was what made it for me. It's so fucked up.
Yes.
After all that, I know the nitpicks we had there, but like the idea of it, if they would have fleshed this out and given it an extra 30 minutes, this would have been a solid episode. It still is to me. I think it's still great. I know there's small nitpicks you had on there, but was there any other things you
No.
had in mind out that you thought you
The
didn't like
ending,
about it?
the ending, like, see, now is I've seen it. I saw it when I was a kid. So I loved the ending when I was a kid. I thought it was just great. Like, this is my shit. Like, the Twilight Zone later on, and this earlier on, because I saw this before the Twilight Zone, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. But I love these twist endings, And when this happened, I was like, when I was a kid, I loved it. I was like, oh my god, that's so fucked up. Like, he killed her. It was all because she was pregnant. But then, like I said earlier on, she's drinking liquor with him, with Alan. They're drinking liquor together. I'm like, what the fuck? But it was the 90s. So, like,
It was a different time.
Yeah.
They were smoking back then.
Baby would have been born with
yeah,
alcohol fetal syndrome.
Yeah,
No, fetal alcohol
probably.
syndrome. Fetal alcohol.
I gotta look back on those scenes when they were drinking. Or
Yeah,
supposedly.
I looked.
See,
Her drink is
Just-
dark. It's not white. It's not clear. They toasted each other, and then
Maybe so.
and like she could have said, "Motherfucker, I'm pregnant. I knew he was throwing us a party. There's people here. We're gonna have to hide his body." like or something.
yeah, that was a slight plot hole there. Yeah, I'm looking at the clip too. It definitely looks like some kind of bourbon.
Yeah. So
Maybe she found out later on.
No.
maybe, but it's a stretch.
no,
It's a stretch.
they knew the whole
trying
thing.
to-
That's why he asked, "Does he know anything?" Because it was about she's pregnant, and then she said everything.
Yeah.
Everything's changing, but it feels the same. So like he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh my
there's
god."
those subtleties there. Now
Yeah.
when you go back to it, it all makes sense. It's a pretty fucked up episode. I think
But-
it's a good one though. It's like
Okay.
it's just the idea of not to jump to conclusion pretty much.
So this is what I wrote earlier. I said I have a few gripes. I mean, they had plenty of opportunities to tell him they weren't fucking, and she was pregnant. Instead of keeping it a secret, or they could have just fucking put him at ease by telling him they weren't interested in each other, or she could have said he has a tiny dick, and then dude would have been cool with it all. But anyway,
All right. I mean, it was already past that point. I think anything that she could have said may or may not have stopped him. Even at the point where she saw Alan dead and ran up the stairs. I think it was kind of already set in motion at that point. There was no stopping him, I think. But yeah, I mean, it would have helped. I think he was just in that blind rage.
yes, I said it was an okay episode. I don't hate it. I think the ending was cool the first time you see it, like when I was a kid. And then the second time I watched it, because before today, I watched it again yesterday. And I was like, nothing. I felt nothing for it. All right? So today I watched it, and the music is really good. The entire episode is a piano, right? So the end, it does kind of change where it kind of sounds like Creepshow 2. I was thinking about Creepshow 1, like it has that synthesized feel, but it's not. It's the violins from like Creepshow 2, because it's like an orchestra feeling to it.
Yeah.
So the music is on point with this episode. So it gives that, like, it's always something that adds to these shows to make it feel different than a regular fucking TV show. Because this could have gone in the same direction as that stupid episode we don't like for season 1 with the collection completed, right?
The old couple, you mean?
It could have been like that, but it's not, because it's filmed. This director did a good job filming it, right? It didn't go too much with the, like, some of the stories. Sometimes the stories are campy, but it's filmed campy. No, sometimes the stories are so good, but it's filmed campy, but it negates the campiness. Like, well, I'll talk about it later. I don't want to ruin that episode now. But like, this episode was filmed very good, and not like a cheesy TV show, not like Tales from the Dark Side, not cheap, not low budget, right? They had money, they spent it wisely, minimal stuff, and it was done properly. But the music elevates it. Like, the music elevated the episode for me. So instead of saying like, whatever, I'm like, I have to look for things when I watch these again to see. The twist is great. If you've never seen this before, you're going to love this episode a lot. If you just came off it the first time. See, I've seen this like fucking 7 times, this episode. So I give this 3 out of 5 stars. I think I would have given it less, but this time I caught the music, and I'm like, oh, this is so good. It goes so well. It actually elevates the episode more. At first, I'm like, I'm not feeling the music. But then as you play it throughout the whole thing, it's like building up to that point where he flips the fuck out. Like if you feel the tension or the suspicion, kind of through the like he's sitting there and you hear it and you're like it's his like him. It's like his emotions. I interpret it that way. So I like this episode. I think the music elevated it more. I think he is God rest in peace. He's a phenomenal actor, very creepy. I always thought he was related to Gary Busey. But he is.
Yeah, he gives off Gary Busey vibes.
Yeah,
sure.
he was fantastic, and if you haven't seen Death Wish 3, I think that's his greatest performance of his entire career. Here he's good too, but Death Wish 3 is a fucking masterpiece. He's the most sinister bad guy ever, and of a gang full of every race of villain. Just like the gang is just like, well, this is our territory. And then there's like black, Latino, whites, Filipino, like everybody's in this gang, and it's in New York City supposedly. So that was a great movie, and this episode was a good episode. 3 out of 5 stars. Jan Hammer. I don't know what else she's done. I did not look her up. I wrote her name down. I think it's Jan Hammer.
I looked it up too. I think he's a guy, but he's known for doing the theme song to Miami Vice.
Oh my God, really? Well, that's moneymaker right there.
So I think that's where that synth stuff that came in there, and
yeah, maybe. Jan Hammer. Wow, I thought it was a girl. Well, good. They got a look. He's big deal, dude. You get fucking Jan Hammer. You got the guy from Miami Vice. He probably did what else did he do? That's a big fucking deal. You're getting him to do the music for your episode. That's where the money went. That's where the money went. They went to him. It did. It went to him. Definitely went to him. 100% it went to him to compose the fucking. That's great. Wow.
Yeah,
I knew I picked out. That theme song's badass. It's one of the greatest theme songs in television history. That Miami Vice theme song. Yeah. And then there's like some like I know of one guy.
Synthesizer's timeless.
I know one guy who's does the theme music to a lot of TV shows because he did almost every single theme song. Like I would see Mike Post, and I was like, oh, I know him. He did Magnum PI and Quantum Leap and all these shows because they're the theme songs. But like those shows, the people don't know because nobody really knows Quantum Leap theme song or Magnum PI unless they're old or they watch the new one. Yeah, or dead. Yeah, you know. So, Miami Vice, everyone knows that theme song.
Well, I would say, yeah. I guess to wrap up our thoughts on the episode, I wanted to add the closing segment with the Crypt Keeper was pretty solid too. We didn't. Yes. He mentioned, what was the quote he said? Let me see. That's what I call dragging your wife to a party. It's so
I wrote that down too.
But it was great. I guess Richard was the guest of horror after all.
Yeah.
Just goes to show you what can happen when you let your imagination run away with you. Here's to your bad health. See you next time, boys and ghouls.
Yeah.
So big ups, Crypt Keeper. Nothing crazy with him, but he had a good line at the end.
Oh, he was on point at the end. That was great. That was
I would say
he did the laugh.
I think I liked the episode. I liked the episode a little bit more than you did. I've got to give this based on just the performance alone by the main guy here. Rest in peace to Gavan there. And just the idea of the story I thought was solid. Even the first time I watched it and the second time, I was questioning before I watched it the second time today whether it would still hit the same for me or not. But I still think it's still a solid episode, minus the nitpicks with some of the things we brought up. And if she was, she was pregnant and she was drinking, that was weird. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty solid episode. I mean, it's better than most of the other ones that are not as great. I think it's what I'd say is the best out of this season. I wouldn't say that, but it's up there for sure. It's a unique one.
So what would you rate it?
I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. All right, I got a 3 out of 5. I'm lower than you, but that's okay.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. The twist really got me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because I felt like it could have gone a different direction. I mean, there was some. When I was watching it, I could have seen it gone different ways than it did.
Again, if I saw
I don't know what you thought if you were predicting it, but
No,
It could have gone different ways.
I've seen it. So, like I said, I saw it. I saw it when I was a kid. I saw it. So, you know what I mean. So it was good. I liked
Oh
it.
yeah, that's
I liked it when I was a kid. I loved it. I loved it. So, but if I would have saw this for the first time, I would still, I would higher. I would it would be higher. I definitely would give it a 4 out of 5. But I give it a 3 out of 5 because it was minimal and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. 3 out of 5 isn't a bad rating. I think
no,
I gave
no.
a
I liked it more than you did, but
yeah.
yeah, I think it's solid. It's a solid
Yeah, it's a
episode.
good episode.
So that yeah, I mean, this is yet again, season two. It's like the strongest season.
Yes.
So I look forward to watching more
Hey,
because there's a lot more coming up that I
there's
liked
I think
a lot too.
I gotta see when I get to that. There's 2 episodes or 3 episodes this season I know are gonna have much lower ratings than that. So I think that's like
Yeah.
I think this is the lowest rating I've given an episode this season. Episode this season so far, and uh, trust me, it was in between 3.5 and you know what I mean. So it was around there, 3.5 or a 3. I give it a 3, but it's still not bad.
Three is a good rating still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are episodes that I know. There's one episode for a fact it's getting a 1. I know, or a 0. It might even get a 0. There's another one that I really dislike that I know you love, and I hate it, and I can't wait to get to that one. I always hated it. Even as a kid, I hated it, and I know you liked it because you told me you liked it, and I was like, oh.
Well, I'll bring it up after we done recording, just not to spoil everybody. But I think I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think there's two this season that I didn't like too much, and I don't remember what you gave the. I think I probably gave the same rating as you. But what did we end up? Do you remember what we ended up giving that episode of season one, the last one? Because like that
I
one's
gave it a 2, I think.
that one's like
Oh, 1.
whatever the rating was is probably going to be around there or a little bit lower with the one that's going to come up later on this season on season two. There's one I didn't like too much. There's two I didn't like that much.
There's 2 or
But
3 of them I don't like.
Scrolling
actually.
through no, there's three actually.
Yeah,
Three of
there's
them
3 I don't like either. Yeah, but it's gonna be funny to see
And
which
then-
one it is because I know
Yeah, I guess.
I know one of them you like. There's another one you like that I like. I don't like either. So there's 2 that I know that you like that I don't like. Then I
So
don't,
there's 18 episodes in season two.
Yeah.
I can say that there's 3 of them that I didn't like. So this is a very strong
I know one
like
you don't
to
like.
dislike ratio.
I know one that you don't like.
We talked
But then the
about it,
2
yeah,
of them you
but,
don't. I know 2 of them you don't like. Yeah.
Two and 3 I didn't like that much. There's 2 I hated, and there's 1 I didn't like that much.
Yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, that's our episode of Creeps of the Crypt. Remember, if you want to support us, you can go to GhostCrusadersMerch.com and buy a t-shirt. There is a t-shirt on there of Dead Right. It's called American Creep. It's with Charlie Marno and his beautiful wife. I forgot her name. But anyway, check it
Kathy.
out. Kathy, yes, Kathy Marno. So you can check it out over there. You can cop it. You use promo code Crusades13. You get 13% off at checkout. And yeah,
At some point if we ever decide to do a show with our cameras on, I'm definitely gonna rock that shirt.
yes,
When you send it over here,
It's on the way.
I really like the shirt.
It's on the way. Yeah. So by the time they hear this, you'll have it already. But yeah,
Yeah, we're pretty ahead. As if you
Way
already,
far
don't
ahead.
already know everybody.
Yeah.
We're pretty ahead. So
But anyway, yeah, we'll talk to you guys next time. Remember, just check us out wherever you can. Creeps of the Crypt.